There's a bit of needle about the emerging Ireland tour, but I guess it's World Cup year, and that takes precedence.
It probably does. I think that the frustrating side seems to be that it's quite late in the day that they brought this together. It seems to be a disconnect between agendas between the national side and the club side, because you could argue that the club guys want to focus on the URC. You could look at that list there and I go, okay, well, Max Deegan, Clendellen, these kind of players, literally, maybe Sirocco, maybe they don't go on that tour and they would be better served playing in the URC. But then, we've been talking a lot about this before the show. I'm kind of flipped between the two of them, because in theory it's the right idea. I just don't know if it's the right thing to do to the URC competition with some of these players.
Okay, so the integrity of the competition, it remains to be seen. I mean, these things are all kind of, they're very biased on the outcome. If this is a roaring success, and I accept that the opposition mightn't be top grade, but I mean, if this is a roaring success and it leads to a good year, good Six Nations, etc., then it could become part of the calendar. We don't know if this is a good idea or not.
I would disagree. I think it is a good idea. I think it actually stretches the depth within Irish rugby. Like we mentioned before, we only have 4 provinces. An awful lot of these, Jamie picked out the few players that would be knocking on the door, but there's a majority of those lads that would be holding tackling pads or not getting a whole lot out of those games. Of course we want to see them come on, but the opportunity to get the development, to be around the likes of Simon Easterby, Paul O'Connell, and actually learning their level of detail when it comes to breakdown, lineouts, whatever it is, and having that environment of just being around quality. So that's some of the best of Irish rugby coming up. We're going to be looking to these players beyond the World Cup.
Sure.
But even for them to build bonds, get together, look out for each other, and most importantly, run a week, take control of the team and the environment.
The issue is, I suppose, it wasn't communicated well. There's been big friction. Like, let's be honest with it, the provinces are enraged by this, I would say, even. They've had their plans for the season disrupted at a very late stage. Players going away, they'd have their own development plans for them. They feel that they can develop those players. But you look at it from the Irish coach's point of view, and you think of Joe McCarthy and Tom Ahern with Paul O'Connell for 2 weeks. That's going to be massive for the development. Kieran Frawley working with Mike Catt on that attack without Johnny Sexton there is going to be massive for his development.
It's huge investment at the right time in that context.